Good evening, everybody. Tonight, our song is going to come from way back in the year 1816, and this is from James Montgomery, and the music was written by a blind composer. His name is Henry Smart. This started way back. James Montgomery, his parents were missionaries to the West Indies. And when he was 6 years old, they went to the West Indies, but they decided to leave young James at a local boarding school. But it was more kind of like a monastery. 6 years later, his parents die, and James, of course, is 12 now, and he's not doing very well in school. He just can't make the marks, and so at 14, they took him out of school, and they gave him a local job at a grocery store, but he didn't do well at that either. So he was basically a vagabond on the streets, and he began writing poetry in his teens, and to help him kind of survive on the streets, he would sell his poems. So eventually he did end up as a worker at a local paper, and he stayed there, and when he was 23 years old, the owner of that paper had gotten himself in some hot water by speaking out against the local government. This is during the time of the French Revolution and a lot of the stuff that was going on. And so he left the country, and this gave Montgomery the ability to purchase the paper itself. So he does that, and he would publish his poems in the paper here. And let's see, he would also get in trouble for speaking out against the government and get jailed. One time he was in jail for, let's see, he spoke out against the civil problems of the day, and he wrote a poem celebrating the fall of the Bastille in Paris. And he was taken to jail, but his bail and his fine was paid by local friends of his. So he gets out, and it was 2 years later that he was jailed again because he had published a detailed account of a working man's riot in a local mill. And so he spent 6 months in jail for that time, and his fine was doubled because he was previously in jail. Well, once he gets out, he was more famous than ever. His paper was famous, he was famous, and he actually thought about writing the judge a thank you note for sending me back to jail. So he became a well-respected businessman and man of character in his town. And on Christmas Eve in 1816, he was reading Luke chapter 2, part of our Christmas story, and he wrote this song to paper, Angels from the Realms of Glory. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and sing that right now. I'll get my hymnal here because I mostly know it, but I like to have it just in case. Angels from the realms of glory, wing your flight o'er all the earth. Ye who sang creation's story, now proclaim Messiah's birth. Come and worship, worship Christ the newborn King. Shepherds in the field abiding, watching o'er your flocks by night. God with man is now residing, yonder shines the infant light. Come and worship, worship Christ the newborn King. I hope you're worshiping him tonight in your heart, and you all have a good evening. Thank you. Bye.